Hello everyone. Today I'm sharing a message from Raven and Crow because Raven showed up and reminded me about it, and it was pretty big experience for me. And I thought it was just about me, and then he wouldn't stop yammering until I decided I'd share it with you. So here I am. Also, if you're confused about, is Raven and Crow the same thing? Are they different? Technically, yes, they're different. They're two different birds, so they're the same species. They're both corvids. And when you interpret the messages, there are subtle differences. But for our purposes here, you can consider the messages being the same. The difference is that with Crow, it's just kind of like a gentle nudge from the universe. Hey, pay attention. I'm giving you this message. If Crow is your spirit guide, then for the situation you're in right now, this is really useful. If Crow is your totem, then this is going to be one of the bigger challenges in your life. If it's Raven we're talking about, however, and I'm a Raven woman, so I'm very intimate with that feathered menace that I love and adore, even when he's driving me crazy, which he does. If Raven is your spirit guide, then this is kind of like the universe giving you a really big wallop. Like, hello, this thing you've been working on forever that isn't working, this is why. Pay attention. And if Raven is your totem, then this is going to be a really big deal for you. It was for me. So, also, one of the things I'm going to be talking about is the way in which we create our reality. We create the life we want. And you guys have a billion different spiritual teachers and gurus telling you 1,000 different ways to make your life better, to bring yourself enlightenment, to be healthy and happy and wealthy and thin and in good shape and blah, 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 blah. The fact of the matter is, the only information that is ever good for you is the information that feels good for you. So when you encounter something, you go, oh, that doesn't make me feel good, or that makes me afraid, then stay away from that. So when I'm talking about creating your own reality through Raven's perspective, there may be some things where you go, I don't know, I'm not ready for that. Then ignore it. That's fine. It just means it's not right for you at this time. It may never be right for you. Or next week, you may have a shift in vibration, a change in perspective, and go, oh, hey, that suddenly makes sense. But you should never, ever change your beliefs or the way you go about your life out of fear. We know that something is right for us because it feels good for us. And what is right for you is not going to be right for me. What is not going to be right for anybody else around. So again, as you're watching this video, I want you to really feel your feelings. Really listen to what they're telling you. And that will tell you whether or not Raven's approach is correct for you at this time. Or if maybe you're supposed to look for something else that feels better. Okay? So, all right. Raven, and I'm going to say Raven instead of Raven and Crow just because it is so much easier. Raven teaches us to become empowered, and I know that word is really overused these days. So what I mean is, he teaches us to become the creators of our own life. To say, that is what makes me happy, and that is what I'm going to create. I am allowed to have what I want, and I have the power to create it. Raven is linked to the Magician tarot card, if you're familiar with tarot cards, where it's, I can create with my thoughts. I can create whatever I want. Raven is really the law of attraction bird. He teaches us, I think, and that is what I create. So how do you actually do that? Because, we think a billion thoughts a day. And a lot of us, if you're watching this video, part of the reason you're here may be that you have been thinking, and what you're wanting is still not there, and you're kind of wondering why the heck that is. So Raven's perspective on creating your reality is to explore your darkness. And I hear a lot of things from people when I use the word darkness. I usually get people say it means violence, sex, selfishness, concepts. But the real darkness inside us is actually repressed feeling. It's the anger. We don't let ourselves feel. It is the fear, the sadness, the shame. And you can go, but I know they're in there. Well, yes, you can know they're in there and still not allow yourself to feel them. One of the things that those of us who are usually pretty, nice people tend to do to ourselves in this newly positively minded world in which a lot of us are living in, is we deny our feelings. because we think, well, we're good people, so we shouldn't get angry. Or, we know there's a divine plan, so we shouldn't feel sad when we lose someone. Or we know that that jerk on the freeway who cut us off is probably having a worse day than we are, so we're not going to feel angry. The thing is, we do feel those things. We just tell ourselves we don't, and they're still in there. And the reason we need to feel these things is that feeling these things gives us really important information about our situation and about what we are creating for ourselves. And Raven tells us that if we are going to create, we need to know what we believe, because we create what we believe. And sometimes we don't actually know what we believe. So let's say, for example, that you want a lot of money. And you're driving yourself crazy because you're affirming, I have money, I have money, I have money, I want money, I want money, I want money, I want money, and nothing is happening. And you notice you're feeling a lot of frustration. So finally, you let yourself feel frustrated. You just sit there and you stew, and you let yourself feel frustrated. And by the way, my darlings, feeling something is not going to make it happen. Feeling angry at someone does not mean that they're going to die by a lightning strike in 5 minutes. If they do, believe me, it wasn't you. Feelings are not facts. They are information about a situation that our body has produced. Okay? So let's say you're feeling frustration. And you're feeling frustration. Why don't I have money? Why don't I have money? Why don't I have money? And then you start to feel shame. God, what's that from? And instead of blocking it like you usually would, because none of us likes to feel shame, it doesn't feel good, obviously. So you let yourself feel the shame. And you just wallow in it for a few minutes, and you feel the shame, and then you really start to feel angry. Like, God, what is that about? And so now you're feeling angry. And as you're letting these feelings process, what you start to understand is that you're not really attracting money right now. You're saying, I want money, I want money, I want money. But your underlying belief is linked to feelings about your father, who thought you should have been a lawyer. And instead you went to construction, which you like a whole lot better. But your dad has never let you live it down, and he has said over and over, you are never going to make money in construction. You are never going to make money in construction. You have shamed the family by not becoming a lawyer. And so you're feeling all this shame, and all this frustration, and all this anger. And you're going, oh my gosh, that's why I can't make any money. Because I don't believe I'm capable of making money. What I really believe is I don't deserve to make money as a person in construction, because I'm letting down my family by being in this field. And I can't really make money anyway, because my dad said I could only make money as a lawyer. So you bring this stuff from inside in the darkness out into the light, and you look at it. You go, all right, well, wait a minute. There are a lot of people who are really great people in construction. I think that I'm the lowest of the low because my father says I'm shaming the family, and yet, really, am I that bad? I mean, do I think those guys are that bad? No, I think they're pretty great. And Dad says I can't make any money in construction, but really, those guys make a lot of money. And at that point, you start to go, you know what? Actually, it is possible I could be making a lot of money in this job. I just didn't realize that I was blocking myself with all of these old beliefs because I'd been repressing all of these emotions and not letting myself get mad at Dad. And so what happens is you go from unconsciously keeping yourself from getting any money because your unconscious belief is, I don't deserve it, I'm this awful person, I can't make any money doing it. And now suddenly you're going, you know what, it's possible that I could. And that word possible changes everything. When you are using Raven's wisdom to help you create, possible is the key. Because possible is what takes you from, it ain't gonna happen, to, you know what, I'm gonna open the door and see what comes in. Something could show up. I don't know what it's gonna be, I don't know how it's gonna happen, but it could. And could is magic. Now, a lot of times when I tell people, feel your feelings, I get this response, which is, but what if it doesn't go away? What if I just sit here stewing in anger and fear and it's awful and nothing ever happens? I'm just awful, awful, awful. It will go away. It may come back because if you have a whole lot of anger in there, then it's going to need to flow. And, you know, we can only do so much at once. Believe me, your body is not going to drown you in fear all the time if you let it out. But what will happen when you feel your feelings is you're going to feel that acute misery for a minute or so, or maybe even an hour, sorry. and it will begin to lighten up. And what will be left is this serenity, a feeling of peacefulness, a feeling of calm. And again, the understandings we just talked about, which is, oh, I feel shameful because I was told I should feel shameful. So it isn't going to last. It will probably feel like it's going to last. And the first times you do this, it will probably be icky. I used to have panic attacks. I had acute PTSD. I had panic attacks. I don't think there was a time where I wasn't having a panic attack for at least 6 months. Unbelievable. And when I started to allow myself to really feel the fear, it was pretty darn bad, because I'm going, oh my gosh, I'm going to be trapped in this hell forever. But lo and behold, that was how I actually started healing PTSD in myself, was allowing myself to feel the fear, because it would flow and I would start to understand, oh, this is what I really believe. This is what I'm really afraid of. Oh, well, that's kind of silly. Now, not everything's going to be easy to release. There are some pretty big traumas in some of us. Believe me, I know. But as long as you're not aware of what's going on inside you, as long as you're not exploring that darkness, then it's just going to stay in there. And that is the stuff that keeps us from being the powerful creators Raven tells us that we can be. We can create anything. Anything, guys. Anything, anything, anything. We can. But only if we believe that it is possible for us. So again, if we want to get to our beliefs, to see what we really believe, we've got to feel our feelings, because our feelings tell us what we actually believe about a situation. Even really good people get mad sometimes. Even good people feel fear and anger and rage and sadness. I think of myself as a pretty good person. Sometimes people tick me off. It's okay. I let myself feel ticked off. I don't act on it. By the way, that's the other thing I get a lot, especially people who are dealing with anger. But if I let myself feel angry, I'm going to explode and I'm going to go hurt people. No, you won't. The reason that people explode like that is because they are repressing their feeling, and then the feeling needs an avenue. And so we go into action. If you're able to genuinely allow yourself to have the feeling without judging it, don't sit there and go, I shouldn't be feeling this. If you just let yourself have it, you're not going to go do anything horrible. And you'll feel a lot better afterwards. So when we're working with Raven medicine and someone contacts me, this is always the message I give them first, that probably what's happened is you are being connected with your power to create what you want in life, to understand what you believe is possible for you. Maybe you've been feeling like a victim for a long time, or that you just can't seem to get what you want. That was me when Raven showed up. I was the queen of feeling like a victim. So, and I don't anymore, which is wonderful. So if Raven's showing up, that's one of the things you can really ask yourself, how have I felt like a victim? How have I felt like I just can't have what I want? So again, once you start to understand what you believe, you can start thinking more positively. You can start thinking, you know what? It is possible that I could do this. Other people have done this. The one thing I like to remind you of is that anytime we want anything, it doesn't matter if we want to lose 10 pounds or win the lottery or live in China or do a billion other things, we want it because we think it will make us happy. And that's a great thing. So now you're being told, go after this thing that you want because you think it's going to make you happy. And we want to be happy. The universe actually wants us to be happy. We're not meant to suffer. So you go after this thing you want that's going to make you happy, and then somewhere along the line things just aren't working out, or it doesn't feel as good for you anymore. Well, the reason is, most likely, that there is actually something else that will make you happier, that because we are limited beings and we don't know everything, we weren't aware existed. And so the universe is trying to guide you, to nudge you a little bit into the thing that would make you happier. So maybe while you are planning your trip to Tibet that you think is going to make you absolutely delightful, all of a sudden you meet a whole bunch of people from someplace in Europe and you think, wow, that would be nice to visit. And now you have a choice. You can take those nice feelings and go spend time with new friends, or you can force yourself to keep on this trip to Tibet that no longer feels as interesting. Chances are your guides have stepped in and gone, okay, to get you to Europe, we had to get you planning for Tibet, and so that felt really good for you, but now we want you to go over here because you're going to like it even more. So when I do affirmations for myself, I usually say, all right, God, all right, universe. I talk to God all the time. I use the word universe also because it means the same thing to me, but just in case you were wondering, what does she really believe? They're interchangeable for me. So, okay, God, this is the thing that I want, and I want this thing because I think it's going to make me happy, and so this is what I am creating. But I am also aware that there may be something better out there that I'm not aware of, and so I ask you to guide me to that thing, if that thing will make me happier. And the guidance doesn't usually come in an icky form, guys. Some of us don't pay attention, and so we get walloped. I'm kind of famous for not paying attention. I have a really high tolerance for pain and discomfort, so I'll just keep doing what I'm doing until the universe comes along and goes, hello, bam. But when you start to feel good about doing something different or going in a different direction, that's the universe talking to you. That's God telling your heart, hey, that's the thing that you want. That is your guidance to move into a slightly different direction. So I always say, God, I want this or something better. So that leaves the door open. So I still feel empowered. I know I am creating something I want, and I'm working off the knowledge I have, which is that this thing is going to make me happy. But I allow for the universe to work for me. So I allow the really magical possibilities I might never have thought of to happen for me. For example, at this moment, at the recording of this video, I live in southern Indiana. I'm originally from Southern California. I would never have thought I would have wound up here. But this was one of those cases where I said, all right, universe, I want to move. I think I want to move to this place, but you know what? I'm open to guidance that maybe someplace else would be better for me. And I wound up here, and I really do think it was probably better for me. So anyway, it's a lot of information. If you are interested in law of attraction, which I mentioned, there are hundreds of resources online for that. And I'm not going to recommend one specifically to you because I think that whichever one you stumble upon that feels good for you is best for you. But just know there's tons of that stuff out there. And also, again, this is not Raven and Crow's only message, but it is the one that always seems to, well, it's the one that always seems to be the one people end up working with anyway. And it is also the one that I was told to repeat to you guys. I had a little bit of a spiritual crisis this week where I really lost some of my faith in my ability to create, and Raven showed up and, oh gosh. Let's just say afterwards I'm back to going, oh yeah, okay, I get it. Every once in a while I really do need one of those bops upside the head. So I hope this has been at least interesting and fun for you guys. If you do want more information about Raven, then please feel free to contact me to schedule a session. If you visit my website, which is www.ravenlightholistichealing.com, you can see all of my sessions laid out along with the costs and how to get in touch with me and everything. I do everything from energetic healing, where I'm actually working on your physical body, although I do this over distance. I do it over the phone or Skype. Works just as well. I do life path guidance if you're feeling stuck. I do the animal totem and spirit guide stuff, dream interpretation, just about everything. This is the work that I love, and it's wonderful. So you can get in touch with me that way. You can also find me on Facebook at ravenlightholistichealing.com. I'm on Google+. And I also have an ongoing series of books about animal totems and spirit guides that you can purchase by visiting Amazon.com and looking me up. So anyway, from Raven and Crow and from me, I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. Cheers, my darlings.